The Padres have a chance to do something absolutely insane. Let's talk about how a Livvy Dunn tweet could lead to not just the fix of the pitching staff, but long-term prosperity for the Padres. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. This is the part where I do this usual YouTube thing of saying, can you hit the subscribe button, please? It would be greatly appreciated. If not, no worries. And then say, let's go back to talking about baseball. You might say, baseball. What does that have to do with a Livvy Dunn tweet? Maybe you might just say, who is this Livvy lady? What is this, Christian? This is me talking about how I think that the Padres have a chance to land Paul Skenes, and then asking you guys kind of where do you draw the threshold. So as we go through all of this, I want this to be a back and forth. You are all very good at hopping into the comment section when I'm wrong or when I'm right. You are not as good, but hey, how about when on this, we just have a discussion about it, because I want to lay out how I think that this tweet right here connects to it, but also just what the possible trade scenarios could be. That being said, let's talk about it. Livvy Dunn is a social media, new generation-y famous athlete, content person. Met Paul at LSU. She was a gymnast there. He was a baseball player there. They have now been dating for a while. They give off the current younger generation's version of Kate Upton and Justin Verlander in a ways, but she posted this that we have been talking about now, the I Like It Here about Petco Park. Paul Skenes is perhaps the most desired pitcher in baseball right now in terms of tradable, available prospects, age, skill, measuring it all up will show you how just good, like how outrageously good Paul Skenes is for anybody, let alone for someone his age. Here are his stats and his rankings in the majors. You see, he is a top 10 pitcher by all accounts, except for the win-loss record, and that's where I think we're kind of at right now, is that the Pirates are a team that is in desperate need of change, of wins, of something that is not what they are currently doing. They are not in a position to capitalize on a generational starting pitching talent. So they are maybe they don't want to say a rebuild. Maybe they are just saying that the current, Padres did this for a lot of years. We're not rebuilding. We're right there. We're one piece from unlocking. Okay, great, cool. So they have this Paul Skenes guy who is a top pitcher, who is an asset that is under control by the team for a couple more years. We'll show you here what is available on his contract, 2025. He is making relatively on the low end of things, all things considered, for how good he is as a pitcher. And then as next 2 years, you can see that he is still in pre-arbitration years. So usually when we're talking about a pitcher being someone that comes up on the discussion for tradable assets, it's a guy like a Cease, like someone in the last year of their contract who the team's like, we can get that guy. He's a star. He's a rental. Maybe we sign him. Maybe we don't. We can be in the conversation because we went out and got him, but let's do something. Skenes is not that. Skenes is that level of talent, but commensurately, though, Skenes is a dude that is also under team control for a while and is young. So he's kind of this unicorny. So it's going to have to be a huge haul in return, or something like what happened with Luka Doncic, where it's just an unexplainably bad decision by the GM, which I'm down for either one of those to happen here if it ends up with the Padres being it. But talking about what that deal is and what the Livvy thing is, or maybe two different things, but just to close the loop on that, I think that if we are talking about what we see here in the national media being people like Jeff Passan coming on Pat McAfee saying that, the best course of action for the Pirates might be to trade them. They have pieces with O'Neal Cruz and some of their other guys. You could say, hey, if we added 3 more pieces that were everyday players type of thing, maybe the Pirates are quicker to be good than just building around Paul Skenes pitching every 5 days, and also then not having the run support or the defensive backing behind him to be a 20-plus win pitcher like he could be on some other teams. So the mindset is kind of there for the Pirates that maybe it is the time to have this conversation. So if there are going to be pitching things or pitching trades, and if Skenes is going to move, I do like one big check in the box of the San Diego Padres being that the pitcher's girlfriend likes our city, likes our stadium, likes our vibes, likes our whatever it is, likes us as a destination. You don't see Livy posting about Cleveland. You don't see her posting about Cincinnati. You don't see her posting about a lot of cities. So to get this, I think as we then talk about the second half of this, where it's like the package that we got to do, you maybe can view all of this with the slight qualifier that maybe Paul would enjoy coming here. On top of us already being a good team, like it would work for his lifestyle. He is a Southern California kid. He is a person that seems to really focus on baseball, and maybe he's not the biggest dude for picking a city on a city kind of basis, but it certainly can't hurt. That being said, what do the Padres potentially have to give up in return? I think that the obvious one there is Leo DeVries, their minor leaguer. I'm showing you here the stats. Leo is an 18-year-old shortstop, international top signee prospect who these numbers maybe don't tell the entirety of the story in terms of who he is as a prospect. He has hit for the cycle. He has had some multi-homer games. The flashes are entirely there that at 18, under team control, he feels like he is our top prospect. He is one of the top 25 prospects in baseball, depending on whose metrics or systems you use. Like, he is a certifiable dude, and I would assume an automatic one. We don't have Ethan Salas right now, while he is on the disabled or the injured list with some back issues. That to me would be the 1-2 of those two, plus like a couple other pieces. So not having Salas, the Padres are now kind of faced with, they're a little cash poor in terms of the minor league built up assets that you can trade. And that you can be mad at this and say that the Soto thing didn't work out. You could be mad at this and say that this was that or the other. I don't want to play that hindsight, because the Padres are still in a good position. Even if we can't trade for Paul Skenes, the Padres are still, like, we are a good product on the field. We are competitive in the toughest division in baseball. The Padres are good. Not being able to trade because we have a depth of asset, like, it's a give and take. I'm not here to get mad at it. But that being said, where my question is, because I'm assuming most of you, if it is in return for Paul Skenes, will be fine with getting rid of an 18-year-old could-be prospect of these kinds of numbers. But who goes next? I'm assuming there's a degree of cash considerations, money being traded. You can talk about, on the pitching one-to-one analog, is Stephen Kolek, is Randy Vasquez, is who is the name that you say no to going up the line? Is Nick Pivetta? Is probably not going to be some. I don't think that the Pirates would want to take on a contract like Pivetta's, but I'm just asking the question out loud of, like, where does the hierarchy because I think that, like, Kolek and Leo DeVries make a nice little base 1-2 of the offer that you then throw in a sweetener or two of minor league arms and position players, and you round it out to like a 4-person deal. Question to me then becomes, though, if there are other teams like the Red Sox, there are going to be other teams jumping into this, how far are the Padres fans and the Padres willing to go? I would assume that every Padre person would be like, okay, if they'll take Xander off our hands, that'd be fantastic. I don't think that, like I said, the Pirates are looking to absorb a ton of contracts. So assuming we can't get rid of Xander, we're not going to trade Manny for him. We're not going to trade Tatis for him. We're not going to trade. I would assume that nobody out there wants to trade Merrill for him. I don't think that Arraez fits. So the question then is, like, do we get rid of Sheets? Do we get rid of, would Jake Cronenworth, would, Kolek, Cronenworth, Leo DeVries, David Morgan, and $2 million cash get us Paul? Like, I'm curious where you guys draw the line, because it is always true that you need pitching. Like, that's just a universal fact in all of baseball. But I would be curious where the temperature currently is for all of you guys, given that Darvish is pushed back in his recovery. King is kind of amorphously out right now. Cease has been doing good, but has also had some mediocre this year. We're not really all that complete at the pitching side. So even though our hitting is continuing to rebound and do well right now, I'm curious kind of where the temperature is at for all of you guys. So hop in the comment section. Let me know. I think, though, like I said, the Padres do have a chance here. Like, they are in the conversation. Whether or not they are going to win this conversation, or whether or not the Pirates even trade Paul Skenes, is still yet to be seen. But I do think the combination of seeing from Livy Dunn, and some of you will say that's nonsense, whatever. To me, happy wife, happy life. there's a correlation there. But that plus some combo of those assets, I'm just curious where you guys are thinking in terms of what you would be willing to part with. So jump in the comment section. Let me know what you think. We will follow up on that. And as I said at the beginning, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. Till next time, we'll talk to you guys soon.